she'd never tell the secret that she wanted him as well. That all of her friends stuck up their nose and they had a problem with his baggy clothes. He was the skater boy. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe, OMI, Definity, DEVVE, daCat update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smashing the super thanks button down below, super chats as well. Super chats, because of the fact that it is going to be exceedingly cold and snowy on the East Coast, and we are just not that ready. It is we are unprepared. Unlike an ex in South Carolina that is very much prepared, we on the East Coast and the Northeast are not. Anyway, there's a lot to go over here today. I don't know how much of this I have. So we're gonna go a lot because we have today and tomorrow that are going to be normal shows. Monday we have a podcast. Tuesday's OMI is my homie. Wednesday, I think we're going to have Greg. We're going to have Greg Wyke on the podcast, and we're going to have him on because he has another one of one that's coming out on Monday. I'm not 100% sure what time. I have a lot of text messages here. I don't know if I can. Okay, it starts on Monday, the 26th, and it'll finish on the 30th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to guess 3 p.m. on Monday, and which is fine. So we have that. He's going to come on and promote it on Wednesday. He's also going to promote it on Friday during the day. I have a podcast with Zen Allegra on Thursday night. And then I think next Saturday we're going to have on Will Kiefer, aka Will, husband of Lori Brenner, aka the Queen VeVe from the Queen's Court. So we have a very, very busy. This has been a crazy busy month. I feel like I'm battling the battle of fucking Thermopylae over here. Shout out to Space Penguin. That's always. Who is this? Happy Lion? What is a Happy Lion? Happy Lion just tagged me in something. They followed me on something. Happy Lion loves to shop, don't you? Space Penguin is the everyday friend of crypto lovers with style and warm heart for charities. Very good. There's a lot of stuff to go over AI. Anyway, Elon might buy Ryan Air just to make Ryan CEO, and Sean Ryan is down. Polymarket adds that there's a 7% chance that Elon buys Ryan Air and replaces the CEO with a guy named Ryan. Started with Sean Ryan joked, I'm running enough companies right now, but heck it, what is one more? Elon replied that the idea grows more appealing every day. Somehow that actually feels like it could happen, and that is the wild part. The EU says to Trump, says, please, no more tariffs, let's talk Greenland. This was much earlier in the week, saying European leaders are backing off talk of trade retaliation and leading toward negotiations after Trump threatened tariffs tied to Greenland. Even after Donald Trump floated tariffs on Denmark and other countries like Germany and France, the EU is trying to keep things calm and avoid blowing up NATO relations. They do have a 107 billion retaliation list ready if talks fall apart, but now they're choosing diplomacy over escalation. $763 million in long positions were liquidated on Sunday. BlackRock has now over $14 trillion of assets under management, which is insane. Obama's ICE chief was awarded for 920,000 removals. Trump ICE chief is called a Nazi, but they were the same guy, Tom Homan. Obama in 2012 had 409,000 deportations. Trump in 2025 had 290,000. More equals an award and less equals Gestapo? Question mark. That doesn't really make sense to me, but whatever. Bitmine now holds 3.3% of Ethereum circulating supply, and over $132 million worth of tokens will be unlocked, or I guess it was unlocked this last week, the largest of $58 million unlocked by ton on January 22nd. Digital asset investment products saw their largest weekly inflows since October 2025 at 2.17 billion, though sentiment weakened on Friday amid geopolitical tensions, tariff threats, and policy-related uncertainty. The U.S. is repositioning nuclear aircraft carrier from China to the Middle East. The USS Abraham Lincoln is on the move, and the massive aircraft carrier is transitioning from the South China Sea through the Strait of Malacca, heading toward the Arabian Sea, and should arrive tomorrow. The thing has over 5,000 sailors and officers on board. That's basically a floating city, runs on nuclear reactors, and can operate for 20 plus years without refueling. That is the thing. Shout out to VeVe Zombie saying, yo, that is the thing about the U.S. Navy. They can be supporting other ships that are in war with ice cream. There are boats that go to other boats specifically to supply them with ice cream. That is fucking bananas. The U.S. can set up a Burger King anywhere in the world within 48 hours. I'm so sorry I just cursed. I apologize for that. I apologize for my outburst. But he should know, the U.S. can set up a Burger King anywhere in the world within 48 hours. That is insane. That is the power of the U.S. Air Force. I'm not going to go over that. New York Stock Exchange to launch 24/7 U.S. stock trading through a new on-chain tokenized exchange. What's it going to be? I don't know. We talked about the Bank of England analyst talking about alien confirmation could trigger a Bitcoin refuge, saying that Trump is going to, at some point, let everyone know that aliens are existing. Now, again, this hasn't happened yet. It's just a former senior Bank of England analyst talking about that, saying that if he does go in and confirm the existence of aliens, there could be a trigger where everyone goes into Bitcoin. And if that's the case, you could see some volatility. And she's saying that the Bank of England should be prepared. Maybe they should. I don't know. OpenAI is going to launch its first device this year. There are now 48,100 companions for My Boyfriend is AI on Reddit. That's bananas. Tax divide. The bottom line, the total tax person. California collects nearly double the tax per person compared to Texas and Florida, which is insane. I don't know anyone live in California. There's a 24% chance that the U.S. will acquire part of Greenland in 2026, according to Polymarket. Republic, Ken Gwynn is a good friend of mine, the CEO of Republic, says tokenize or die. Yatsu on why they're bringing their equity to Republic and Solana. Let's go. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. UK at risk of recession due to Trump's tariffs, the Telegraph reports. Celebrate the power and legacy of the dark side. I guess we are going to have to go over Darth Vader because that happened today. Let's take a look at what it did. Also, Binance founder CZ says very few trading strategies beat the simple buy and hold strategy. I mean, buy and hold in the last 5 years has done nothing but make your stuff go down, but you know, we'll digress. Anyway, 247, I think there was 30, all right, 7,400 of the 247. And then what was it? 203 times 20, 4,000, and then 213 times 20. Oh no, 15. Okay, so 72.95. What was it? 247. So they made about 14.5, 14.7 today. Thank you, Ironman616, for reposting the stream. Meow, 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 meow. Which is not necessarily great, but the ultra rare sold out. And listen, I've gone over this before. I don't want to go too crazy here. The ultra rare sold out. It's Vader and Carbonite. Now, did it sell out because, oh my God, Vader and Carbonite, I need that? Maybe a couple of people, because that is cool. I don't think we've ever seen that before. Maybe in a comic and not in the main series. But there's only 247 of those. So that's probably why. But then the rare, which is my favorite, like, oh my God, look at that. That is so freaking cool. I actually have a couple of photos. One of which I'll show right here. I got my boy Ralphie. That's my doggo's name. His name is Ralphie. He's looking at it. And my friend had said, 3D printed Samurai Vader was not on my bingo card. I said, LOL, it's digital. The white marble was my favorite, so I got it. There were two others, but they were meh. One was classic. and the other one was him and Carbonite, which is cool, but I like this one best. My friend's saying, yes, well, friend's looking like Ra's al Ghul. Oh, is that Namor? Oh no, it's Ra's al Ghul. YOLO, do it. Sorry, I was texting a boy. And so I guess that should bring us to Gary Vaynerchuk's page over here. So I do follow him. I do follow Gary, but I didn't see this post until a friend brought it up to me. Gary Vaynerchuk says, I want Pudgy Penguins to win. I want Good Vibes Club to win. I want Azuki to win. I want Bored Ape Yacht Club to win. I want Doodles to win. I want Quirky's NFT to win. I want World of Women XYZ to win. RE Generates to win. Chimpers HQ to win. Moonbirds to win. Unofficial MFers. Me Bits NFTs and Cool Cats to win. And then he says that I will work very, 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 very hard for V Friends to win. And cool, you have Pudgy Penguins going there. I don't know if he did this, he didn't need to tag everyone. He did. It got 100,000 views. I was like, okay, that's cool, not bad. And then a bunch of people that he tagged were in the Doodles. I don't even know. Doodles, they only got 1,500 impressions, even though there's 500,000 followers of them. It's wild that they only had that many impressions 6 hours ago. Should have had more. Good Vibe Club. So a bunch of these. Is Good Vibe Club's even on there? It is. A lot of the people that were on here, Good Vibe Club, they have 658 impressions from 8 hours ago. Well, they only have 25,000 followers. Anyway, Elmont X is there. People talking about VeVe, which is really cool. Actually, there's a bunch of people talking about VeVe, which is great. I love that. I also want to. Yeah, there's a bunch of people talking about VeVe. I did not notice that before. I do want to go to something else, which I'll get to in a minute. A buddy of mine messaged me this, and it says, VeVe is not included in this. That's a huge FU. And I said, listen, he knows that VeVe's already won. VeVe is not part of the circle, but it is above it. And he doesn't have to hope because they're already on top. There's some other things that I'm not, that I can't go over here because I haven't found it yet. But there's that's why. I think Pudgy Penguins was the only one on that list that was, I think, doing better than VeVe. Everyone else is not. I would make the argument that Gary is doing a much better job at marketing because he's talking about them all the time. And he's actively out there. He's actively posting content. And this is what I would love for David to do. I need another drink. I would love for David to do this because David has multiple sides to him. But the two that I'm most impressed with, and I don't want to say impressed with, the two sides of him that I just love the most is one that he is just a huge nerd, like us. Like he likes my tattoos. Like when I brought him a standing cat that I think is at Crypto Rain's place right now. He just cat and he just hugged it. He's just a big nerd, and I love him. Like the passion that he has. I remember this is going back 20 plus years ago. I was at East Village Green Animal Hospital. It was again like 20 plus years ago, and we had just gotten 2 new doctors in. It was Dr. Castle and Dr. Erin Castle and Dr. Tara Fournier. And Erin Castle was great. Still friends with her on Facebook. She's awesome. Love her. Awesome chick. Awesome doctor. It was a pleasure to work with her. But Dr. Tara Fournier had just this passion for the job and just like heart on her sleeve, lived and died by her patient, not necessarily the client that was the owner of the patient, but she just absolutely threw her all at it, lived and died by the patient. And that's what David does. He would rather not make money on something as opposed to releasing a subpar product. And he just, again, the passion for the IP that he has is second to none. I don't believe there is any other person on any other platform that has the same passion for collecting and the love of IP that David has. And that I would put that, even if the platform wasn't what it was, even if it was in like 9th place, I would still put it as a dark horse candidate. It'd be like in Mario Party, the freaking Koopa would be like, I know this dude is like 4th place, but I believe Luigi will win. You know, for whatever reason, for like the vibes and vibes that it brings. Just for that, I'd be like, I would never count him out. And that's one side that I wish David would just fireside chat. Be like, hey, this is what we're doing today. We have a meeting with Marvel. We have a meeting with these guys. I mean, this is what we're doing. Show everyone how hard you're working. And again, he doesn't need to do any of this. He could sell the company right off into the sunset and just collect all the cool shit that he wants in the world and never have to work again. But he does this, one, because it's fun and he's passionate about it. And he just has that. There's a quote by Professor Ozpin. I'm going to have to find it. And it's about Ruby, I think, where he says, "That's so Crow, it's not adorable girl, my school, traveled here today in search of knowledge." All right, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to find this quote. Warriors, strategy, everything in your path. Congratulations, year, leader. Oh, God, I love that quote. Proud to run a school, Blake, Hyde, headmaster. Jesus Christ, this guy has a lot of quotes. Forget, prepare to go to war. Why don't we just bend them? Oh, that's a good one too. Energy in the air. Under guardian. Misguided. She's ready. Ah, my God, I'm sorry. Use it. So sorry. Maybe I'm tripping. I could have sworn it was in like earlier seasons. Again, I might be tripping. Rise, skills. Well, okay. Purpose. First step. Emerald Forest. Landing. You'll die. Congratulations. Interesting year. I'm sorry. There was something. Forever. Faunus. Forces conspire. Hesitate. Dancing aren't so different. Never forget. Prepare to go to war. Flag bearers. Bending. Scouts. This is the size of our defenses. Oh my God. I swear this is a really good quote. And I'm tripping because she has her faults. No. All right. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I'm just not in the. Okay. Yeah, I'm done. Dog Boy says, "Hey, Randy, what's up? Waiting on the storm." Yeah, same. Gary doesn't want VeVe to win. Well, we're going to go over that. Hey, girl, how's it going? You're on speaker.
We're making a table today.
Oh, like you're sawing wood to make a table? Who and who else?
Alex.
Okay, is okay. So he's doing the sawing, right?
No, both of us.
You're both doing this. Okay, are you? Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. You're being safe and wearing gloves.
Sure. Yeah,
Girl. Okay. So I called before because I had a comment and I was reporting it, and so there was a bunch of comments. I guess so. if you do enough videos, every now and then you'll get a bunch of bots and they'll say like, hey, you should check out this thing. And I was just, you know, 3 dots, report, spam or misleading, report, okay. But the spam or misleading thing is right next to the promotes terrorism thing. And,
oh my gosh.
And I accidentally clicked promote terrorism or promotes terrorism on the thing. And like it was a bot, it was spam, and it just reported anyway. But I feel like now that I accidentally clicked promotes terrorism, I don't know if YouTube's gonna judge me with prejudice on anything that I report after, because
I think it's just I'm sure that happens quite often since the button's right there.
I hope it doesn't happen, but I hope they understand, and you're correct in that they.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, that if it's right there, I'm sure. I mean, because people are reporting spam constantly with all the videos that are on YouTube. I'm sure it's like a thing.
Yes.
A normal thing.
I hope so too.
Oh shit.
You good?
Oh, yeah. I just dropped something. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, very good. Anyway, I wanted to call and ask you that and be like, am I good here? Which apparently I am. Okay, good. I am so I got a lot of supplies today for the storm.
Good.
I am going to well, I'm on live right now, so say hi to the live.
Oh, sorry. Hi everybody. Can they hear me?
Yeah, they can.
Did they hear my whole thing?
I think so. Yeah, you're making a table. You are making a table.
Good.
Yeah.
Right now we're toasting, making burgers, toasting the buns right now.
Ooh.
So I thought I would give you a call because I missed it earlier. I apologize.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I think I'm glad people know that you are like the one that I call the most out of everything. And if there's any oh, there's a lot of people. Okay. All right, I'm going to bounce out and get back to the live, but I love you, and I'm glad that we can talk about stuff, a lot of times stranger things, but yes.
I love you and everybody else. I love you guys, and I miss you, and I will have to hop on a stream sometime.
Yes, you
I haven't even been on
should.
Twitter in like 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, girl. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Okay.
What's wrong with me? Okay.
All right, get that bread. All right, I love you. Okay,
Anyway.
goodbye. Yeah. Okay, that was a VeVe fan bam. We love her. She is one of my dear friendos. Hearts, Malice. Okay. Anyway, it's not that Gary doesn't want VeVe to win. It's just that, again, he just doesn't. He doesn't have to hope that they win. They've already won. They're already the largest digital collectibles platform. They already have the best IP. They are what everyone else wishes that they were. I would say, with the exception maybe of Pudgy Penguins, where they're very happy the way they are, but they would also they're super excited to get like Kung Fu Panda, and now Man City, which is really good. So they do have some really good partnerships with IP, but you know, it's a couple of things, and VeVe's got everything. Like they have everything. So I think it's good to have competition. I think Pudgy Penguins is great. I think Moonbirds is great. I want a Pudgy Penguin. I want a Moonbird. I want a VeFriends thing. I want a bunch of these things. It's just that, and I think all 3 of those, and now I think Bored Apes and I think CryptoPunks, I think those will do well also. I think I don't know what the floor price of some of those are. No, I don't want AI mode. Let's do OpenSea. A VeFriend is 1.2 ETH. All right, that's not bad. A Moonbird is down 20% on the day to 2 ETH. Damn, it's down 20%, but it's still 2 ETH. Like that's still $6,000. Like that's a lot. Oh, this guy's cool. I like that guy. That guy's pretty dope. Oh, this guy's got a fucking eye patch and purple eyes. That's pretty dope too. And it's a 3-digit. It's a 3-digit and it's 2 ETH. Like that's pretty dope. Like that's pretty sweet. So you have the other ones that are like 3744, 5768, 9886. That's a cool guy though. I don't care if it's close to 10,000. But then a number 8, a 3-digit, and it's got a purple eye and an eye patch and a little, like, that thing is cool. Oh, I would take that. This guy's got a little top hat. He's giving the side eyes. That's kind of cool. This guy's also giving the side eye, but no top hat. But he's got green eyes. The other guy's got like the other guy's like jaundiced. Like, you know, he's hacked. Oh, this guy's got a little duck on him. That's pretty dope. He looks pretty unamused though. Oh, this guy's like, he's got little, I don't know what he has on him. It's like the thing that Boo puts on you before he absorbs you. He's got big eyes. Another guy that's unamused by a duck. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these other guys are not that great. He looks like Captain America in the Winter Soldier, where they're like hiding out in a mall and they like kiss to make other people feel uncomfortable. Oh, this guy's like, he's like baked and he's got a wizard hat. That's pretty cool. Well, how much ETH? 2.13 ETH. Here's like a pride one. It's a gay one. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of other ones don't really seem that cool, you know. Like none of them are popping out to me. They're not giving me good vibes, you know. They're not like, I wouldn't ride with these guys. This guy maybe, because side eye and he's got a skull on him, so that's pretty cool. 2.4 ETH though, you know, it's a lot. Oh, this guy's got a diamond idea, number 549. 2.4 ETH though, like 2.4 times 3K is 7,200, as opposed to just 2 ETH, which is just 600. So, you know, you say 6,000, you save $1,200, get the first one. And again, the rest of them are just like, you know, they're, oh, sheesh. Well, this one's 88 ETH. Ain't nobody buying that. I know it's number 9, but ain't nobody buying that for 88 ETH. You know, that's $250,000. That's insane. Pretty insane. Still cool though. All right. Anyway. V Friends, Moonbirds, CryptoPunks, Bored Apes. I want them all to win. I mean, Bored Apes and CryptoPunks, they're gonna win anyway. Those are pretty big, but I think Moonbirds, Gary V's, V Friends, and whatever ones that I was mentioning before, I think they'll all, Pudgy Penguins, I like them. I think they'll all do well. But it's just, VeVe's got it locked down. They've got that enclosed ecosystem to ensure that 2.5%. They're just making money every time one of them sells. Every single time one of them sells, they're making money. And then you have the fact that they're going to be interoperable soon. This is going to be huge. Ken Golden. So publicly, you have Ken Golden that'll likely have a VeVe NFT on there at one point. There's a couple of people that are like, oh, he's expressed his disinterest for NFTs. Like, okay, yeah, when they weren't interoperable, they're about to be fucking interoperable. So like, I don't care what you say. Like, I saw the same thing with Pokemon peeps, where they're just like, yeah, you know, trust me, guys, Nintendo's never going to go for these NFT stuff. And it's like, okay, you know, they've been talking to VeVe for like years now, right? And like, proposals have been had. They were very much ready to go do it. You just have to find that middle ground, and it's just, people just don't know. No one that's talking about Pokemon in that way have any proximity to power. They have no proximity. Like there's no people that they're talking to that have any idea what they're talking about. It's just their feelings, and facts don't care about their feelings. Money doesn't care about their feelings. Feelings are not a fucking priority in this. It's all about money, which is fine. Again, what I was talking about before with David being just a beast. I wish he would do these fireside chats, because Gary Vaynerchuk has so many people that just, like, including myself, that look up to him. Like I stood in line for a long time one day just to get, like, I've had that like 2-3 minute interview, made a video about it, made a live about it, and again, I respect everything that he's done, because I've been doing a lot of things that he's done over the years. got out of the military, I took my, like, again, he was, I think, 34 and working at his dad's liquor store, his dad's wine store or whatever. And, you know, before he really started getting into the, you know, the YouTube and stuff. And then him going in and having VaynerMedia and Vader Sports and like all of this stuff, you know, slowly trying to follow in his footsteps, albeit a different way. You know, I really only have YouTube and X. I have a TikTok, I have a Facebook. I don't really use them all that. I have an Instagram. I don't really, I use like Instagram for like thirst traps, right? All of these, like, again, it's just doing it a different way. And again, it's like, how many people are still here from making YouTube videos in 2021? It's me and Crypto Rain. He makes some like a couple times a week, and Dr. Stuff, he makes an appearance every couple of weeks. And that's it. There's like no other people that are still here from that time. They all washed out. And I will raise money one more time. It is going to be at well over $500,000 market cap. This is for the channel. It's going to probably be my last time raising money. I don't ever intend to sell any more after this. The only reason I'm doing it now is because it's fun. And it's not going to be now. It's going to be a couple months from now. I want to wait for one more thing to happen, and then I go in and we'll close out that deal. It'll be over $500,000 valuation for the channel. If I get lucky, it might be close to $1 million, but it probably won't be. It'll be, I think, 600 minimum. But $1 million would be a lot, considering that although depends on what they do with EBITDA. It depends on what they do with on how they value it, and then how long I want to do this for, because I don't want to do this forever. I mean, I'll still probably always do this you know, in some way. I just don't want to do this every day because it's not really that worth it. Like, to be honest, like, it's great to have a valuation that's super high, and it's great to have like the influence and again, like when you're getting, especially in a bear market, a lot of times, like, a high hanging fruit, you know, in a bull market can become low hanging fruit in a bear. Whereas, like, you could have somebody that is super, you know, on top of the world, like I can quote the Carpenters, on top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation. That's such a good song. You know, on top of the world 1 minute, and then suddenly liquidity gets sucked out of the market, and they're not on top of the world anymore. And then suddenly, hey, here I am, and you go in and scoop in, and it's all about location, location, location. The closer you are to power, to the proximity of power, the more influence you have. And I'm close to a lot of CEOs now. Why? Because the bear market is rough. Honestly, bear market is the best for building relationships, because for like everyone else tires out. And I think this is what Gary Vaynerchuk understands as well. Like, what's your track record? What have you been doing? What have you been doing while everyone else gave up? If you can show your track record, and that's just like, okay, you've been doing stuff. And again, it's not the easiest way to build up companies. It's not the easiest way to build up brands, but it is a way, and it's worked for the last several years. Is that going to continue to work for the next half a decade? I don't know. It might not. Probably not. It'll be out innovated in some way, but for the last half a decade, I've helped build a lot of businesses. And again, just getting close to a bunch of these CEOs that just remember the Power Rangers movie in 2017? Everyone kind of hated that movie, but I loved it. There's a scene where after, I think, Billy almost like dies. Spoilers. Or it's after that Billy becomes like, he morphs for the first time, and then, you know, he like doesn't again, and Zordon's like, get out. And then they all stay on the mountain. They have a campfire, and they're all just like kind of getting to know each other, like really, like, personally, not just their abilities, whatever. And I forget where I was going with this. Sorry. But they get to know each other, and it's like, hey, here's what I can do. Here's what I've been doing. And that's just such a good way to connect with CEOs. Is like, who else is building when everyone else is dying, when everyone else is, and like, there's a couple of gals, what was a couple of people, fudge, it's Monday? I think it was today here. Need Clarity Act. Maybe it wasn't. Senate. Okay. Maybe it was on my replies. I think it was on my replies. Nope, wasn't that. I'm finding it. I'll be right there. Okay, so NFT Gateway Studio. Says today, and NFT Gateway Studio has 250,000 followers on X. Saying today we're announcing that Nifty Gateway platform will be closing on 23 February 2026. Starting today, Nifty Gateway is in withdrawal-only mode. Nifty Gateway was launched in 2020 with a vision of revolutionizing digital art. Since launching, Nifty supported dozens of innovative drops and brought new creative experiences to life. We're incredibly proud of the work that Nifty team has provided and grateful to the Nifty Gateway customers and artists for joining us on this journey. Customers with the current balance of USD or ETH or who hold an NFT will be notified by email with instructions for moving their assets off the Nifty platform. Please reach out to supportniftygateway.com with any questions. I got almost 400,000 impressions. Yeah, people trolling on the quotes. Carter, fun fact, most if not all tokens URIs of a creator sold on Nifty's platform point to their api.nftgateway.com subdomain. If Gemini chooses to fully shut down the file hosting or, God forbid, do not renew the domain, your tokens are worthless. Secret Society of Whales, 16,000 followers on X, says, if you got whales in Nifty giveaway, it's time to move them out. Sats Moon, 5,700 as well. So many great memories around when they launched. Jan Collects from VeVe and OMI says, sad to see another NFT digital collectibles company having to shut down. At the same time, VeVe Visual and Collect Chain seem to be heading into a very interesting phase with multiple updates and changes coming up. I'm genuinely curious to see how this collaboration will fully take shape. In the coming days, phase 1 of the migration of over 12 million VeVe collectibles to the Collect Chain is set to begin, a massive step and a nice milestone. I'm really excited to see what the future holds for both projects and what long-term impact they could have on the entire digital collectibles market. $OMI. C. Grace with 3,000 followers says this is very disappointing. Care about that. Care about that. There's a lot of people that are not getting a lot of stuff on here. Most people are not getting a lot of follows on this or impressions on this, which is fine. But anyway, there's this girl, Anna Zubarev, 11,000 followers, saying, another one bites the dust. Yes, another platform is being forced to shut its doors, blamed on poor market conditions. And while that may be true, it still leaves a very real question for artists trying to build and survive on ETH. What are we actually left with? Manifold, powerful, but assumes you already know how to navigate the tools. Transient Labs, solid infrastructure, still not widely accessible or understood. Foundation, once promising, now poorly managed and inconsistent. Super rare, locked behind heavy curation, available to very selective few, and yes, shaking my head. Every closure shrinks the playing field, every gate tightens access, and artists are once again expected to adapt with fewer options, less support, and more barriers. The uncomfortable truth? The problem isn't creativity, it's infrastructure. Okay, lady, like, you're gonna credit ChatGPT with this quote? If platforms keep disappearing while entry points stay narrow, artists won't stop creating, they'll just be pushed elsewhere. The question is, who's actually building for the long term and who's just waiting out the market? So I say you should check out VeVe Official, the largest digital collectibles platform in the world. And she says, sounds great, but I'm not familiar with the platform. What's good about it? It's a good question. Aside from having licenses from the best IP in the world, Marvel, DC, Disney, Lamborghini, Star Wars, Universal, etc., they're high-end 3D digital collectibles, not JPEGs. You can play and take pictures with them in AR, as well as your own space in their metaverse. You can sell them on their own platform for gems, or sell them on Stacker World for crypto. It will also be interoperable within the next month or so. So see, that all sounds good, but not for me. I create art, not exchange cards, and no, I'm not into gaming either. I say that's fair. I love art. I'm a writer and write comic books as part of my living. Since I can't draw, I hire others to help my dreams come to life. Part of why I like VeVe is that I can collect art from any of the artists that are out there. Very few of what VeVe has is cards. There's a lot of statues. Sometimes there are cool paintings there too. One of my favorites is Gary Baseman. You should check him out. I love his stuff. She says, thanks. And I recommend you check out my top favorite artist that is creating trading cards too, but offers them on Instagram. Sabette is a master of many trades. I said, I will. Thank you for the recommendation. Art dealer. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Sorry. Now let's go with what I said, which was, I don't even think it got that many. Yeah, so I just said, always sad to see others in the field shut down. Happy to know that I backed the right horse, though. VeVe official is the way. $ OMI. So again, it's not that. Shout out to Space Penguin for always being a bro here. It's not that Gary V doesn't want VeVe to win. By taking VeVe and saying that they are, God, what's the name of that? They are, by leaving VeVe conspicuously absent from that list, he already acknowledged that they've already won. So it's not that he doesn't want them to win. Whether he wants them or doesn't want them to win is irrelevant. It's because they've already won. And I think him not mentioning them acknowledges that. He's not hoping that they win because they already have. Michael 712 says, Gary has always warned people Disney was coming, Marvel and Star Wars was coming. Yeah, interoperability is on its way. Raymond's, what happened? Gary didn't mention VeVe at all. Again, it's fine. He doesn't need to. It's irrelevant whether he wanted or needed to or not. It's just, that's the way the facts are. Like, I think he was taking his position and lifting up the smaller. I think he was just lifting up the smaller ones that really needed those prayers, that really needed that, his vibes, his shout out. VeVe does not need that. Although I would like it, not something that Cray Mountain says, aloha to everyone. Meow, meow. Zombie says, I was a guest. Gary Vee assaulted because VeVe didn't pay him for an influencer deal. So give him the free book. Personally, in his own mind, maybe he feels like that, but I mean, I talked to him last year, and I have to look at what it was. I made a video on it. I put the stuff on it. Let me see if I can find that. I'll see if I can find it. I'm not gonna be able to find this, am I? Three years ago. Yeah, I'm not. Empathy. Oh, geez. Okay. Well, I'm able to do what anything. Okay, I'm trying to. And then, like, one dude that used. Okay, here we go. Hey, yeah. Oh, shoot. Okay. Gary, Raul Paul says that NFTs, a lot of the 1% are going to go in, and obviously your friends are going to go crazy when the bananas on comes. To hedge your bets, do you happen to have any other IP outside your own, like Vader or Super Spider-Man? I'm going to say VeVe. So, VeVe's centralized, so it's a little bit different. Yes, I think the VeVe, energy, like, look, defense, 4 to 8 doodles, all of us have 30, 40 years of work just to get to the levels of Star Wars and Marvel and all the big stuff. So I'm of the mindset of, like, all us newbies have a ton of work to do. When
the other IPs that are really there start to make their first, decentralized NFTs, it's going to be a real interesting movement. But 99% of NFTs, just like 99% of sports cards and art, comic books and watches and sneakers, won't have value because there won't be demand. But like doing what I'm doing here and things like this, the demand creation is the game. I agree. You know what I mean? So Spider-Man and Superman have that demand creation already. I do. And so I'm excited. All right, thanks.
And then right after that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, look." Oh, Greg. Yeah. So when talking about that, he's already acknowledged that his V friends and everyone else that's into NFTs right now that are trying to build a brand, they have decades of content to catch up on, because anyone over the age, like our parents, are they going to have any idea what a V friend is or a Pudgy Penguin is? They have no freaking idea. And where's all the wealth in this country? It's slowly being transferred to millennials. It's a Gen X and boomers. Maybe some Gen X knows about, V friends and Pudgy Penguins if they're in the scene, but most people are not. So I don't think it has anything to do with him not getting money for that. Again, he's so freaking rich. The $1 million that he would have gotten, like it pretty meaningless to him. I think it's more about him just not including them because they're so far above and so far ahead of anyone else. And anyone else in that group that he mentioned is such a distant second, and he knows it. With the exception of Pudgy Penguins, I think. Pudgy Penguins are doing really, really well. Now, again, they can't compete with Spider-Man or Darth Vader or anything, but they're doing such a good job at building their brand. And it's something that VeVe's not doing. They're just not doing that well. Again, Gary V going, like, how do you go in? I forget where we were, on the East Coast somewhere. I think it was New York or Ohio or Florida. I don't remember where, but he was in a certain place, and I decided to go in. I was like, okay, he was within a day's drive. I drove to him to get that piece of, like, what do you think is going on? And the reason why he had hundreds of people there was because he is very good at getting people to listen to what he has to say. He's very good at motivating people. Whether he realizes it or not, there's a lot of young men and women, but a lot of young men that crave for a positive male role model that's successful, that gets it. And he's not, I love him, right? He's not like classically good looking. It's not like, 6 foot, 6 figures, 6 inches, 6-pack abs. Like he's not that. He just freaking grinds, and he's a just mad lad. He's just a super successful and famous and rich person because of grinding and passion. It's not because he got lucky with a job offer. It's not because he got lucky in any sense. He had to work and fight and scrape for everything that he got. And people think that, like, okay, if he can do it, maybe I can get at least somewhere close. And he even says it himself. He shows his report cards where he got D's in school. And he just came from nothing, came from Russia, came from, like, family didn't make a lot. And he was 34 and still working in his parents' liquor store. So I think people really resonate with that story, the same way they resonate with Spider-Man. And it's just like, what do we have in the 80s? You had Steven Seagal, you had Sylvester Stallone, you had Jean-Claude Van Damme, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, Steven Seagal is not an actual martial artist. I'm not going to go over that. But you had, like, these manly men, and you had these, like, beast mode, people that just, and in the 90s, you had Goku, you had He-Man, you had all these, like, muscle pop, buff pants type of people. And somewhere along the line, that kind of changed. And it's like, okay, you don't have to be this big, super buff, awesome guy to be somebody. In the 80s, you had, like, the larger than life wrestlers. You had, again, you have the awesome football players and baseball players and wrestlers and boxers and UFC fighters, but you can be just as awesome and just as successful and just as loved being someone that is none of that, but worth 1,000 of them because of what they do with their passion. And I think that if David did the same thing that Gary did, where he just vlogged his lifestyle, like going into a meeting now with this person, with this place, here's how I, help run the cons. Here's how, who I help with this. He could go and David could, he can go anywhere and people would be like, oh God, David Hughes here. I gotta go and see him. I gotta go and learn from him. There's a scene in the first season of Kyle XY. He goes to school and the principal, who's such a total dick, he goes in and says like, this young man is not a student here. And then the math teacher just goes like, he has to be. I have to work with him. I want David to get to the point where he's talking about, vlogging about all of the stuff that he does. And then when he says like, I'm going to be here, people are like, I have to go there. I have to take off work. I don't care that my sister's kid is having a baby shower. I have to go talk to this person. Once a life opportunity, because at some point it won't just be a couple of dozen people going to me. It'll be hundreds, if not thousands of people going to see him because the company is that awesome. He is that awesome. And that's what I want to see from David. Really long-winded explanation for what you said over there. Gray Mountain says Gary doesn't mention VeVe because VeVe already won franchise. Preach, Gray Mountain. Okay, I have a bunch of other shit. Give me one sec. Double shoot. Okay. There's a bunch of other stuff to go over here. I don't know. Was that on Monday? This is insane. Okay, good with that. Somebody on the VeVe Facebook said it's trivia time, everyone. On Monday, the McFarlane Toys Discord channel is the world famous trivia. Tons of prizes. I think physical and digital toys. I did not know McFarlane was still a thing. Apparently they are. Fed injected 8.3 billion on Tuesday in liquidity. Copenhagen physicists assert that reality responds to human choices in reverse. Basically, if you say it, if you, God, all right, hold on. Basically, if you speak it, you can speak something into existence. I fully believe in that type of thing. I don't know. Hasn't everyone heard that before? They say something and then it happens. I feel like that happens every now and then. Bermuda is building the world's first fully on-chain national economy with support from Coinbase. That's got to be insane. That is hysterical. Unload 5th truck of guns. Hey, Arnold, January 19th, there's 1.3 million OMI burned. Oh, that's good. Screenshot that was great. Silly, gosh, 1 second or before. Oh my God. Simon Dedick says, just spoke with a portfolio company that had a huge product breakthrough. As a result, they now have more revenue in the pipeline than their actual current fully diluted valuation. Makes you realize how many undervalued gems are still out there. Other altcoins will die, or this will be remembered as the window of max opportunity. Simon Dedick has 47,000 followers over on X. Maybe it has something to do with Definity. I don't know. Midnight Foundation taps Bloomsbury Money as exclusive partner for global FX, cross-border payments, and employee debit cards. Partnership bridges privacy-focused blockchain tech with regulated financial infrastructure. And Midnight Foundation had gone on and reposted that, again, originally from Liquidity Finder. Absolute shambles right now. X officially open sources its new algorithm powered by Grok. Tom Lee's Bitmine has staked another $277 million worth of Ethereum. They now have 5.6 billion in Ethereum. That's how much they've staked. That is insane. $100 million is liquidated from the crypto markets on January 20th between 1 and 2 p.m. Crypto Cosmo, my man, has 735 MC1s. That's insane. Michigan went insane. Bitcoin OG transferred 909 Bitcoin worth $82 million after 13 years of dormancy. When he received those Bitcoin, they were $6.8 each. The guy flipped $30,000 into $82 million simply by hodling. Tom Lee bought another 35,000 Ethereum worth $117 million this past week. $500 million USDC was minted. Michael Saylor bought $2.13 billion worth of Bitcoin. Danish pension fund Akademiker pension was selling all U.S. treasuries. Trump family added 1.4 billion in crypto assets, related assets to their fortune in 2025. Trump Media is collaborating with Crypto.com to create, showcase, and hold digital tokens. Dogecoin Foundation to launch such app with self-custodial wallets and enhanced utility in the first half of 2026. Portugal joins a growing list of countries cracking down on Polymarket. Bitmine's ETH holdings reached 4.2 million after acquiring 35,268 tokens over the past week. Tom Lee's Bitmine bought another $110 million worth on January 20th. Stablecoin transactions rose to a record 33 trillion USDC. The AI Godfather warns that it's starting to show signs of self-preservation. Jesus, man. Another billion USDT was minted on January 20th. Public entities now hold 4 million Bitcoin and 3.6 million ETH in combined digital asset treasuries from Globally Today. Treasury Secretary Bessent says the U.S. government will add seized Bitcoin to its digital asset reserve. Dev stream funds not coming in slowed things down, but we are still progressing at a slower rate, says Tom Anderson from DEVVE. Dev community says, well, this is the moment people have been waiting for, whether they realize it or not. Every major exchange announcing tokenization, 24/7 trading, and instant settlement is validating one thing loud and clear. The old plumbing is finished. The new plumbing is here. I Am Cloud says, absolutely, I support this 100%. The New York Stock Exchange's move towards tokenization is bullish for DEVVE. Anand says, start judging NFTs by their grails, not by their floor prices. The rest will fall into place if your time horizon is that of a real collector. And Mr. Squeeb says some people collect, others position. Finnish president says Putin failed at everything he wanted. Alexander Stubb told Russians they were honest with themselves. They've been only failures. Putin wanted to take over Ukraine. He made Ukraine European. He wanted to split NATO. He actually got 2 additional members, Sweden and Finland. He wanted to split Europe. It's more united than ever. And he wanted to keep defense expenditure down. Well, they're now all going 5%. Things are not going his way. Darky 1K says Trump was supposed to be the crypto president, but since he took office, every single altcoin has nuked down 90%, and every single asset has outperformed Bitcoin in 2025. Agreed. Michael Saylor now holds over 700,000 Bitcoin. He acquired that at $75,979 per Bitcoin. That's insane. Wall Street Mav says it's not Trump's job to be popular in Europe. His job is to do what is best for the USA. Making Europe pay for their own defense will save USA a fortune each year. Threatening to take Greenland away from weak hands is part of that process. Scare the living daylights out of NATO, so they spend money on defending themselves. Preach. European Union preparing to announce historic trade deal with India. Some call it the mother of all deals. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says global elites have lost its public trust. Agreed. Peter Schiff says the U.S. financial crisis worse than 2008 is coming this year. He's been right about one thing the last 20 years, so who knows? He might be right. S&P 500 on January 20th erased all of its 2020 gains. 100 on the land, the sea, the sky, pledge your allegiance to your hand, your team, your vibes. Sorry. $1.3 trillion has been wiped out from the U.S. stock market on January 20th. That was bananas. Chainlink launched 24/5 U.S. equities data streams, bringing continuous on-chain access to U.S. stocks and ETFs tied to the $80 trillion equity market. The CFTC chair, Michael Selig, says Congress is very close to passing crypto market structure legislation. $1.4 trillion was wiped out from the U.S. stock market on the 20th. Minnesota Department of Human Services has given over $724 million to an NGO whose name has been protected as Mass to Protect, not public data. That is insane. Banks are getting paid nearly $300 million per day on interest while actively working to block you from earning yield on stablecoins. Again, why is market structure bill being held up? Because banks earn 5.7% risk-free at the Fed, then you pay 0.1 to 0.5% on savings. The spread is policy-enabled. the yield goes to banks, not you. Since 2008, banks have been paid trillions in interest on reserves, funds that otherwise could have been reduced to the federal deficit. Now those same banks are trying to kill the market structure bill so that crypto companies can't pay you interest on stablecoins. This isn't about safety. It's about preserving a monopoly on yield. Voters will remember the politicians who chose bank profits over your right to earn. Steak and Shake announces an hourly Bitcoin bonus of 21 cents for its employees. Tom from FIAS says, yes, everything FIAS is also oriented towards DEVVE. I already went over with Will how DEVVE and FIAS go together and how we'll use each to grow the other. Will was excited about both DEVVE and FIAS. $360 million worth of crypto longs were liquidated between 4:45 p.m. on the 20th and 5:45 p.m. on the 20th. There was a 1-minute candle that liquidated $300 million in longs. It went down almost $1,600 in a minute. Elon Musk says Tesla's mission is to build universal high income. And it had $150 billion wiped out from the crypto market on the 20th. Brian Armstrong says another milestone moment for pro-crypto advocates taking office. Congrats, Spanberger VA and Mikey Sherrill on the inaugurations. Great to see so many pro-crypto advocates in office across the country. President Trump signs executive order to restrict Wall Street investors from buying single-family homes. Huzzah. Can't go over that. Can't go over that. Can't go over that. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of stuff I can't go over. There's been over 1,300% increase in assaults on ICE agents, over 8,000% increase on death threats. That is very unacceptable, in my opinion. President Trump says he will issue the people of the United States a $2,000 dividend payment without congressional approval. Let's go, Trump. Pump those markets. Trump year one, Wall Street out, American families in. Trump signed executive order banning large institutional investors from snapping up single-family homes meant for families. No more Wall Street firms outbidding young couples for starter homes. No more turning neighborhoods into corporate rental empires. Federal agencies must now block sales to big investors, prioritize owner-occupants, review rules, and crack down on anti-competitive tactics. Source of that is the White House. I love Nancy Mace. We love her. Scott Percent says markets are going down because Japan's bond market just suffered a 6 standard deviation move in 10-year bonds over the past 2 days. This has nothing to do with Greenland. It's all about Japanese bond blowout. Oh, my friends. Oh, my other friends. Oh. Talking to some friends today. MasterCard said to weigh zero hash investment after crypto company ends takeover talks, and Novogratz Galaxy to launch $100 million crypto hedge fund. Europe will begin selling U.S. assets in response to the new conflict with the United States, per Bloomberg, on January 21st. Jesus Christ, there's so much freaking stuff to go over here. Anyone that's promoting Cadvin, I'm just gonna tell people they're terrorists because Cadvin is gay. Report, spammer misleading, report, okay. FOMO hitting hard, these people I'm gonna report them all. I'm gonna ban them all. I don't care about, I'm gonna purposely short Cadvin because of these fucking people. Report, spammer misleading, report, okay. Report, spammer misleading, report, okay. I get so many, like so many of these comments. Honestly, if you comment now, you're just gonna get, tossed out with the Cadvin stuff. Jeez, I don't know where they come from. How many people get all these bots? I report them. I ban them from my channel, but hundreds come every day. And I feel like, what was that, the guy from Seventh Heaven, where they talk about huffing? Like, no one's ever hospitalized from that. And he's like, hundreds do every day. Bro, like hundreds of people of these bots be coming out talking about Cadvin. I have no idea who the heck they are, but it makes me want to short the shit out of that stock company, whatever. And you know what? That's just what I'm going to do. These eyes have been on. Oh, sorry. Not as much love as they have with you. Okay, report, spammer misleading, report. Okay, what I'm going to ask y'all to do right now is I'm going to ask y'all to smash that like button. That is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon. Smash the super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Thank y'all. That means a lot. Okay, getting out of here, getting out of here. A lot of people on X, getting them out of there. BlackRock and other ETFs on January 21st sold $500 million worth of Bitcoin and almost $250,000 worth of Ethereum. Strategy bought $2.13 billion worth of Bitcoin. Spot ETFs bought $1.55 billion. 30,000 Bitcoin left on exchanges, yet Bitcoin is still dumping hard. So what's going on? Who's selling? Here's the truth. It's not long-term holders. It's not institutions. It's leveraged traders getting wiped out. Over the last week, over $1 billion in leverage positions got liquidated. This is how it plays out. When the price dips, leverage breaks, or selling kicks in. And then after that, that selling pushes prices lower. I lost my blanket. More liquidations trigger, and it will create a domino effect. What the heck? Sorry. This is why it doesn't matter how many ETFs or MicroStrategy buys in the short term, because October 10th, 2025 was a devastating day. For markets, liquidity was gone overnight. 19 billion liquidated. Bitcoin was down over 30% in a month, and $1 trillion was wiped out from total market cap with 1.5 million traders that were liquidated. It happened because of a market structure problem, too much leverage, and illiquid collateral. I think Bitcoin didn't fail, but leverage did. Crypto could only recover when liquidity comes back. Until then, expect pain, noise, and shakeouts. This was from Ash Crypto Real. It also says Sweden's biggest pension fund, Alecta, sold nearly $8 billion in U.S. treasuries. They've stated massive U.S. political instability as the reason. It was first appearance Leia in the comics that sold out the other day, which was great. Citadel's Ken Griffin says government banking on AI to fix reckless spending crisis. Will AI create the productivity acceleration that is hoped for in Washington and the halls of the government around the world as a way to overcome the profligate spending that we're currently engaged in? The world needs a savior, and the hope is that AI is a savior that we need for productivity. It may or may not be. We just don't know yet. Oh, we got to do that. European Union officially suspends trade deal with the U.S. on the 21st. Batman and Deadpool sold out. That was really nice. Trump administration says banks will go all in on crypto after market structure legislation passes. Trump says banks are doing everything they can to block crypto legislation. This was on the 21st. A central bank of Iran purchased $500 million in USDT to support its local currency, which is trash. Gold added $19 trillion in 2 years. CZ says, let's help make America the crypto capital of the world. Trump cancels EU tariffs after forming a framework for a deal on Greenland. And $135 million worth of crypto shorts were liquidated in 10 minutes on the 21st. Trump stuff, other stuff. Stock market added over $850 billion after Trump canceled tariffs following a Greenland deal. Trump defends Putin's board of peace invite, saying we want power players, even controversial ones. A reporter pressed Trump on why he'd invite Putin to the board of peace despite Russia eyeing Greenland, and Trump's response: he wants all nations with real clout to join up and prevent conflicts. This thing's stacked with influencers who get results way better than the UN, and yeah, Putin's accepted along with basically everyone. Source is CNN. Putin says that Trump can use our frozen billions to restore prosperity after a peace deal. Russia is discussing with the U.S. the use of Russia's frozen assets to restore territories affected by the fighting after a peace treaty between Russia and Ukraine is concluded. Bananas and pajamas. Pokemon says that Slowpoke is like the best Pokemon, like 10 out of 10 team for ZA. $500 million in the USDC was minted on the 21st. Polymarket sees 65% odds of an NFT comeback. Turtles on January 21st was 1.3 million OMI burned, which is great. Infinite, Marvel. Don't care about that or that. 21 Capital CEO Jack Mahler said that Bitcoin will hit 150 to 200K in 2026. He might be right. DEVVE community says tokenization does not remove post-trade. Tokenization changes in the form of assets, not the need for trust. If anything, faster-moving assets increase importance of settlement infrastructure. As tokenized assets interact across systems, failures propagate faster than more widely. This is why serious tokenization efforts focus heavily on post-trade architecture. DEVVE sits beneath tokenization as the layer that ensures transaction completes cleanly, regardless of asset form. Oh, thank God, we're almost done. BlackRock ETF has sold $354 million worth of Bitcoin and $246 million worth of Ethereum. Ondo Finance launches over 200 tokenized U.S. stocks and ETFs on Solana, expanding Ondo to global markets beyond Ethereum BNB chain as demand for real on-chain real-world asset grows. The Treasury bought back over $2.7 billion of its own debt. FM Investments seek to become the first ETF issuer to tokenize shares. Vietnam opens a crypto exchange licensing with nearly 400 million capital to barrier to entry. And the total stablecoin market has hit a new all-time high, surpassing 310 billion and its previous highs from December. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Jesus. Okay, guys, I'm going to bounce. I do have other stuff to take care of. So everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. And everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. We love you.